Now, it is with no doubt that hard work has never, will never, and it won't even make you wealthy in Kenya. There's something that you need to understand very well when it comes to hard work. I'm not ruling it out and say it is not an important thing. It's an important ingredient. But there's one thing that you're supposed to understand. There are two things that are used interchangeably. But before I tell you what are these two things, ask yourself this question. Have you ever seen an individual who really works as hard as much as they can, they sacrifice as much as they can, they usually engage themselves in one of the toiling jobs out there? Takes an example of Beba and such kind of a thing. All right, they try as much as they can. They even don't take or even eat the best, or in terms of the a healthy food and something of sort, just in the name of trying to make the ends meet. But at the end of the day, they still struggle. They're still regarded as the low income individuals, with all the due respect to them. So the question is this: if you apply the wrong formula when it comes to you creating the wealth, you will never get it. Now, these are the two terms I did promise you that I will share with you. But before I do that, I think this is important to me to share with you. I always post a video each and every day. So if you don't want to miss any good video of mine, and what do I talk about? Talk about investment, how to make money, how to invest, savings, and such kind of things. If you don't want to miss any good of my videos, take 1 second. Doesn't cost you anything. Just down below there is a button written subscribe. Hit that magical button and make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any of my good videos. Now, let's me share with you the two things that I've said that are used interchangeably. There is something called effort and there is something called efficiency. So you find a lot of people tend to apply a lot of effort without efficiency. All right, you can work hard on a wrong thing. So at the end of the day, you tend to get the same result. All right, so there you are, say you're employed to get yourself like 100 G's at the end of the month. And you know what? A lot of people, or people who earn 100 G's at the end of the month in Kenya, are regarded as the top 1% of the individuals in Kenya. So most of the Kenyans earn a salary of between 18,000 to 50 or 60,000. Let's talk of that. That's where the majority of people lies on. All right. So say like you are at most at 60,000 at the end of the month. There you are. The kind of a life that you live, it's at par with your money. So the thing is this: you tend to believe that you saving yourself or saving a lot of money somewhere that makes you rich. Doesn't have sense. At the end of the day, you can never save yourself to the riches. So the point is this: working hard does not entirely constitute for you being wealthy. That's for us a fact. Because say if you're working wrongly, if you're working hard but on a wrong thing, so at the end of the day, you tend not to move or you tend to get the same result. There is something called efficiency. It's now working hard on a right thing. All right. So for example, take this example. Say you earn yourself like a 30,000 at the end of the month, or 40,000, or whichever the amount of money. Even if you earn a million, this is still a video for you. All right. So at the end of the day, you decide, now this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not satisfied with the 40,000 that I earn at the end of the month, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create myself a something or another stream of income that's gonna supplement whatever I'm earning. All right. Now this is the point. One thing that you're supposed to understand: say if you're employed, even if you work hard or work less, you still get the same result. If you work hard, you get the same result in terms of the money. If you work less, probably you might get fired because you're not being productive at the end of the day. All right. But the salary still remains the same, assuming that you don't get fired and you overwork yourself in the name of you getting an increment in terms of you adding the job group and whatever and such kind of a thing. All right. So this is the point. One thing that you're supposed to understand is this: if money has what we call the compounding effect, and you have to apply that formula efficiently. Basically means you have to be right with the numbers, meaning you get that amount of money, you dedicate it towards investment. And let me tell you one secret: whenever you realize that you're making a plan for only 1 year and you want to grow wealthy, then you're doing it wrong. If you can be able to have a plan of at least 3, 4, 5 and above years in terms of the period that you're targeting, then now you're speaking the language of the wealthy. That's the reality, and that's what I came to realize. By the way, I used to have like plans of a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, sometimes a year, and actually I was thinking like it's a very long period of time. But with time, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but with time I'm now growing to understand that for you to be wealthy, it takes time, takes dedication, and it is intentional. It does not happen just like that. Yes, of course, we cannot rule out the aspect of grace and acceptability and such kind of a thing, all right? But the point is this: working hard, it's necessary. It's an important ingredient. But at the end of the day, if you apply that working hard on a wrong thing, it will never make you think. So this is the point. Apply these two things interchangeably. That is the effort and the efficiency. You apply effort on the right thing. For example, take a very simple example. If today you decide that you're going to invest on, say, 5K or 3K, at the end of the month, a lot of people can afford that amount of money. But if you tell them, hey, do you have like 100 G's of 200 G's that you can invest on shares, they do not have that amount of money. But if you tell them, out of the salary that you make at the end of the month, can you be able to manage to set aside like 5K, 10K, 15K, 2K, 3K. Can you be able to do that? Yes, I can. Majority of them will tell you, yes, I can. Then you tell them, hey, guess what? Take a pen and paper. We're going to have ourselves a formula that we're going to apply for the next 5 years, and we're going to see a change coming out of it. Because at the end of the day, even if you do wait for the 5 years, at least the 5 years will still pass, assuming that all things are held constant and you'll be alive. At the end of the day, the 5 years will pass. Okay, so this is the point. Take a pen and paper. Take yourself for the 5Gs at the end of the month, or 3Gs, whichever the capacity that you have. Now, be deciding this. At the end of the month, I'll be buying myself as shares of a given company. Of course, you have to approach that company that you know the price per share resonates well with the amount of money that you earn. And you say this, I'm going to create myself a big portfolio of investments in shares or on shares or stocks, based on how you call them, for the next 5 years. And I was doing a very simple mathematics. If you were to dedicate only 5K towards you buying shares of a given company, all right, do you know what happens? Do you know how much money you'll be able to accumulate in a period of 1 year? That is 60,000. And by the way, without calculating the interest or the dividends that you earn at the end of the year, without even you calculating the capital gain, meaning the increment in terms of the price per share of that given company. Of course, the vice versa is also true, because this is an investment. And I said you have to have an aspect of riskiness inside of you. All right, so that's how you do it, and that's how you go about it. So the point is this: you have to understand exactly how things goes. Okay, so you take your 5Gs at the end of the month. In a period of 1 year, you have yourself like 60,000. I'm holding constant. I'm assuming there is no dividend, and I'm assuming there is no increment in terms of the capital gain. Okay, now in a period of 5 years, you have yourself like 300,000. Honestly speaking, if you were to liquidate those shares and get yourself the 300K, what would you do? You can start that business that you've been looking forward. You can go ahead and try to like maintain the number of shares that you have in that given company. Then you're entitled to what we call the dividend shares, or the dividends. Maybe can be semi-annually or annually, or can be both. All right. So the point is this: you have to apply a certain given formula for you to actually go ahead and create wealth. So if you rely entirely on working hard, what you're gonna do, you're gonna apply a lot of effort, you're gonna be tired, and you're gonna be actually be out there and saying the equation is rigged and it's not even, the formula is not even working, in such kind of a thing. Yeah, I know that's where we came from in terms of the traditional advisories, that you have to go out there, get the school, get the grades, get the job, and actually go ahead and buy yourself a home and what have you, blah blah blah, all those kind of things. All right, so the point is this: you can actually apply hard work, which is necessary. When you're starting up, you need a hard work. For example, say an example of people who write books, the writers. All right, they write a book once. All right, they take time, like 2 years, 3 years writing that specific book. They take time, and once they do exactly that, what happens is that they can keep on selling that specific copy the rest of their lives. Take another example of like this. Let's say you are a yoga teacher out there. A yoga teacher, you can teach yoga. You can decide to record yourself doing the yoga thing, and then you sell that masterclass. What happened is this: you applied the effort once, and then you applied the right formula, the efficiency. Then that thing have been making you money throughout the times. That is exactly how you do yourself. But if you decide you're gonna be showing up each and every time doing the same thing, expecting the same, because honestly speaking, let's be sincere. Say let's say you even a tutor, you teach students, let's say physics or whatever the thing that you teach them. Maybe you're a psychologist or something of sort, and let's say you have an office somewhere, and then people come and then they teach them and you show them the way and whatever, they pay you and what kind of a things. Of course, there are feasible amount of people, or the number of people that you can be able to handle in a single day or in a specific day. But if you were out to automate that, if you were to scale that down to a point whereby you can record yourself in a very nice way, and then you can be able to sell that masterclass, that thing can be making you money even when you are sleeping. That is a formula that a lot of people do not understand. That's the reality. So the moment you realize that the number of money that you make in a day is fixed, you're trading the entire day from morning to evening using or earning the same amount of money, then you've been applying the wrong formula. That's for a fact. And by the time you realize that the equation has been rigged, probably it will be too late for you. You will have any chance or even have the room to actually go ahead and change the formula. Or you realize that at the end of the day, you've messed up the things, and whatever you're doing right now, you ain't gonna get yourself out of the cocoon. So the point is this: you have to apply the effort. It's required, it is necessary. I said it's an important gradient, but at the end of the day, it's not entirely the thing that you need for you to create yourself a wealth. What you need to do, of course, you have to have an element of riskness inside of you. Take that aspect, go put it out there in terms of you earning. You can buy shares. I just took shares, or I used shares as an example. It's not the only thing that you can be able to do. You can get yourself in variety of investments, all right? You can get yourself in conventional businesses. You can start yourself any business that is out there, all right? So the point is this: you have to increase other multiple streams of income. You have to look for a way how money can come towards you without you actually applying what we call the active participation. But at the end of the day, when you're starting at the genesis of that wealth creation journey, of course, you need to have yourself an element of hard work. That's for a fact. And remember this, I did not say that it's not necessary. It is, but has to be accompanied with efficiency. Though combination of those two, the effort and the efficiency, are the necessity or the necessary items or tools or factors for you to go ahead and grow yourself and grow yourself to the next level in terms of development. That's for a fact. There's no way you can substitute that with any other thing that you think out there. The formula has never changed, will never change, and don't think you'll be able to twist it to suit yourself. That has been the case throughout the time. And the reason as to why a lot of people tend to complain is this, because majority of them do not understand how these things goes. And that's why you find a lot of subjects or a lot of the occupants of a given country, say call them citizens, whatever you're going to call them, right? They tend to complain because some of these formulas is not shared with them. They tend to believe, a lot of people have been programmed to believe or subscribe to the understanding that hard work or other jobs are the things to go about. Yes, it is when you're starting up with life, but at the time goes, you have to actually look away on how you can be able to create yourself for wealth without actually primarily relying on that individual who is employing you out there. Ask yourself this. One thing that you're supposed to know with this is that whenever you're employed by somebody, that money they pay you, say 30,000 at the end of the month, that money they pay you, of course you haven't made that amount of money to them, because if they employed you the entire that stretch of the entire month, and then you've made them 30,000, then they pay you 30,000, it's like nothing you're doing. It's like you benefiting out of it. The law or the rule of the investment says that that amount of money that you're paying that individual, they should make 3 times of that. If they pay you 60,000, you've made them 90,000. That's for a fact. But the reason as to why you're making them 90,000, they're paying you 30,000 is because they have applied a lot of riskiness or risk things inside of that given business. They have dedicated time, they've dedicated everything out there. Time, finance, and everything. So the point is this: you have to do something. You have to apply that formula specifically. I always hear people talk of, Aki, if you're employed, you're always entitled to getting a salary at the end of the month. You don't stress yourself, the business can fail and what have you. If you're reason like you, then at the end of the day, we won't have employers and a lot of people will go without jobs. That's for a fact. Be the top 1% so that at least you can grow yourself to the next level. It is not a simple journey. It is not easy. That one I can assure you that it's not easy. It takes time, takes dedication, sacrifice, and discipline for you to get yourself up to that ladder. All right. Anyway, you know what, guys? Make sure that you grab my number from the description of this specific video. There you can have a call. You can have a discussion with me as far as the finance is concerned. I offer those services for just a cup of coffee, or you can decide to grab my booklets on the same investments and what have you. Only a copy goes for 280 shillings, and I have variety of them. Just text me, tell me what you want, and from there we can do business. All right. So for now, it's a goodbye. Make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you comment down below, tell me what you think, and let's now move or rather meet at the next video. For now, it's a goodbye.